Yeah, let me just quickly describe what availability energy factor means for the listeners. Energy availability factor means that how much of the time when you have 100% availability of the machines can you guarantee us that you can run them? So when you talk about 75%, you say with you being given all the tools and everything that you need, when you should be giving us 100%, we are asking you to give us a minimum of 75%. So it's quite possible and it's quite achievable because the 75% is based on the working machines. However, this management is dodging the bullet because they are saying they cannot achieve it. But to answer your question, it's quite achievable. In fact, they should be achieving much more than 75%.
So, what is going so horribly wrong that we can't even make 20% available to Gauteng? And we know what this unavailability of electricity has done to us as a country and as a province. I understand that Professor Mark Swilling has suggested that this is an impossible task. The new Eskom board 75% energy availability mandate is impossible. And as you have said, as you've rightly said, this is only achievable if you have your machines that are in working order and uh, all the other bits and pieces, all of the other, I should imagine, uh, power plants that are at the disposal of Eskom and their team. If everything is working and working 100%, only then can we hope to have this achievable. That does then suggest that Eskom has dropped the ball. They didn't upkeep maintenance. And as people are also suggesting, there has been large scale looting and sabotage at Eskom. That is why we find ourselves in the situation we find ourselves in. And forming a new board is not necessarily going to give us the energy we require to be an effective producing country.
Well, let me start off by saying that a new board is welcomed because it's a board that has got technical people on it. Let's give them credit on that. However, the elephant in the room is two men. It's the CEO, Andrew Director, and Jan Opperhauser, who is the Chief Operating Officer. They are hell-bent to destroy Eskom. For what you alluded to, this whole thing about poor maintenance, sabotage, and all of these things, if you neglect things there where you work, people will come and strip them apart. And if you keep ignoring it, they'll strip them apart up until you decide to prioritize your assets there and look after them so that you can get on air. The issue here is that when our children finish matric, grade 12, they go different career paths. Some of them they go into this class called engineering class. It's not a child's play class. You really get stress your mind. So when you finish that 4-year degree, you can't come back and say you are unable to do your work. The reason why I'm alluding to this, there's not been a single engineer of Eskom who has said this energy availability factor of 75 cannot be achieved. It's everybody else except the engineers. If you ask the proper engineers and the power station managers, they will tell you they can achieve much more than 75%. What happens is that they've got this management of Jan Opperhauser and Andrew Director. They want to prioritize everything else and not give the tools and the resources to the power station managers to make sure that they guarantee a 75% energy availability factor and above that. With the situation that you spoke about in Johannesburg, I'm not sure about that because I heard that there was a Kelvin power station. It's a rational load shedding that they do. But I don't want to delve into that because I'm not privy into a separate incident of Gauteng. But the long and short of this, ma'am, is that Mike Swelling and all of these people, none of them are engineers. You can't go to a 4-year drilling course of engineering and have that 20 years experience under your belt. And somebody like Max Swelling or somebody like Jan Opperhauser or somebody like Federator, they do the talking for you. I can bet you now, they must do an experiment and just give us one ESCOM engineer who's employed as a power station manager and come and say to this country, ESCOM cannot achieve an energy availability factor of 75%. No engineer will tell you that because they will tell you, I never get given money, I never given resources to deal with the sabotage and all of this. It's all multiple things that are happening on the site that are eating up on the energy availability factor simply because the power station managers are not armed with the resources and money to attend to all these things. They get poor quality code, they cannot manage it, they cannot monitor it because there's just no money to do all these things. The CEO is divorced from making ESCOM run. He's obsessed with the renewable energy IPPs and he wants to bring in private sector. He's completely resigned from getting ESCOM to work and yet he earns money by being a CEO of ESCOM. This doesn't work.
In the meantime, look, the entire globe is going the renewable energy route. How much longer should we, as South Africa, be pumping money into Eskom? Because we have been, the latest news from Eskom is that they don't have the money. And as you've also indicated, there isn't money to pass down to the different power stations for the managers of those stations to run efficiently. There just is no money. We'd like to know what's happened to all of that money, but that is for another discussion. So Andre de Ruyter, as you say, has his eye on renewable energy. Is that not then the route to go? Is there not a happy medium where one arm of Eskom can start working on renewables and start building that capacity, and the other arm continue going the fossil fuel route, and just for us to be able to work optimally and then reach a middle ground at some point in perhaps 5 years' time and have a clean and a just transition from our current system to renewables. I'm not sure if 5 years is even achievable, but let's just use that for argument's sake. Is that a possibility if the right minds come together and start brainstorming these issues?
Let me just quickly get on this one. Quickly. First of all, there's money. How much how much you pay for electricity? Just give me the number quickly.
I don't know. I'm not sure what we pay.
It's probably about 6,500.
Okay.
Just look at how many people you've got in your street. There is money. The money is being given to the renewable energy people because IPPs, because they sign expensive contracts. The money comes to ESCOM, but it doesn't go to the right resources. It's done on purpose. It's done by this CEO. But quickly again, to answer your question on renewables, there is not a country in the world that has relied on renewables. Let me just tell you that even the country that attempted this, Germany, they've had to humble themselves and come and get coal. They did not go and build more renewables. They did not go and build battery energy storage. The minute the gas supply was cut from Russia, they came for coal. They did not build more renewables. There's not a single country out of all the countries in the entire planet that has relied on renewables. Even the 8.5 billion rand that was offered at COP26, it was only offered to South Africa, not any other country in the world. This is just stupidity at its best. How can South Africa be the only recipient of the money to close down its coal power plants? When Germany, the minute they had trouble, they came to South Africa for coal. They didn't build more renewables. Renewables, just to put it in layman's terms for your listeners, renewables are like your yogurt, like your apples, your oranges, like your sweets, like your dessert and everything that you have in the house. You need these things in order to have the correct minerals and vitamins in your body. But try to have a household that doesn't have starch, that doesn't have protein. People will die in that house. So what these people are doing, they are saying, let's stock up the house with everything else and leave the starch and the protein because these things are nice, they are healthy. Yes, the yogurt and the apples and all the fruits and vegetables, they are healthy. But try to eat them in the absence of protein and starch. You will die. This is what these
Absolutely.
people with renewables.
Okay, we have run out of time. I'm absolutely fascinated by your viewpoint on this issue, and I'm just really sorry we don't have enough time to dig deeper into these issues. My final question to you: you are very knowledgeable regarding a fossil fuel and the energy that we have been dependent on for so very many years. You are a social and energy expert at the South African Energy Forum. Uh, is government listening to you? Are they trying to take your advice? And I'm sure there are very many like minded people like yourself. I'm not an engineer, so, I kind of get guided by people like yourself. Um, is government listening to people like you, and how they're going to move forward with this type of thinking?
No, they are not listening to us. They refuse to listen to us. Luckily and bad for you, whatever the route that the trajectory that they are going to, we know it will never work because it has never worked in any other country. But it's their choice. They have decided not to listen to us. But the good thing is, it's never going to work. It has never worked in any other country. It doesn't work in Germany. It doesn't work anywhere. The route that they are going, it has never been proven. Any country is relying on battery energy storage. They can't show you a country that is heavily relying on renewables. By the way, if we shut down our coal power plant, we will probably be one of the few countries that have done that. The countries that have done that have got a lot of hydro. But Germany and all the first world countries, they have never shut down their coal. America is burning coal. Germany is
Mm,
burning coal.
mm.
England is now nuclear in order not to burn coal. India is burning coal. China is burning coal. The leading economies in the West, they are burning coal. We are the only ones who've been asked to do away with coal, and we have not been told who else has done away with coal. So the government is not listening to us. We can't force our opinion. We continue banging the drum, saying that you will be the only country in the world that goes this route, and the end result of this is that the lights will go off completely in 2027.
Okay, let's leave it there. Hopefully, we can speak with you again for a more in depth discussion and possibly have an opposing view as well. Have you on the panel with the clean energy people and see how this plays out. But thank you indeed for your time. It is exactly 10 after 9 o'clock.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands.